So the original plan for our podcast, Daniel, when we first came up with this, Michael submitted a piano version of The Old Rugged Cross as our outro music.
Wow. Deep cut. I mean, not deep cut, but very niche. Very niche.
And it didn't end up working out.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Noodles at Noon, the show that focuses on things that are not worth focusing on. I am your host who is too afraid to do a haunted corn maze, but I did get my flu shot this week, so I'm a big boy. Hi, it's me, Ben. And I'm joined, as always, by a man who is using this show just to prove that he has more friends than me. It's Noah.
Thank you. So glad to be here with a new friend.
Yes, and our special guest this week is someone who I met like 20 minutes ago. It's Daniel.
Hello, everyone. Yep, it's Daniel. I don't know if I count. Well, I would like to say I count as a friend of Noah, even though we met on the street last Friday. I was holding one of those signs saying anything can help, and Noah said, come on in, and I've been...
I don't think this can help.
No.
This is going to jumpstart your career, Daniel.
Okay. Oh, perfect. Thank you, Noah.
It hasn't worked yet for Noah or I. So
And I should clarify, I didn't give him any money. I was like, no, if I give you money, You'll probably spend it on bad things. So be on my podcast.
A bowl of honeycomb cereal, and you have to be on my podcast now. So thank you, Noah.
It's a give and take. Honeycomb cereal. I had cereal this morning, and it was just like plain cornflakes. But since it's a weekend, I'm like, I'm going to add sugar.
Right.
And I realized this morning that I have no idea what is the proper amount of sugar to add to cornflakes, because I just kept adding more. And then I got down to the bottom of the bowl, and it was just like
a sugary sludge.
That sugar, and it's so good. That's the best part of having cornflakes with sugar. That wasn't my story for the week. That was just a quick little anecdote that I remembered.
Right.
We need to have a section about Ben's breakfast time.
Well, I hardly ever eat breakfast. It's most of the time I grab a fruit bar from the drawer. That's true.
It can be such a waste of time. Hey, pro tip from an Italian exchange student: cornflakes, drizzle honey over, and then a few toasted almonds. Elevates. Ooh. Yeah, it's no longer breakfast cereal. It's instead a culinary treat.
Daniel coming in hot with the wonderful breakfast advice. I'm going to follow that. I'm going to go eat breakfast again when we're done. Daniel, thank you so much for being on the show. It's a pleasure to have you here. Do you have any stories from the past week that you would like to enlighten us with?
Wow. Yeah, I don't know if it's not from the past week, but I do have a story that happened to me recently. No one knows part of this story. And actually, it comes as a bit of a public service announcement. So is it cool if I bring a PSA to everybody this week?
Oh, yeah, that's fine by me.
So we've been doing a lot of home renovation work around the house, including which required a bunch of irrigation line moving. So, we're digging trenches and working in irrigation lines down in holes and all this kind of stuff. And so for most of a Saturday, I was working like down on my hands and knees with my head down. Right. So it was a hot day. It was heavy work. I was relieved when it was done. The next day, as I wake up, I'm laying in bed, and in bed, I'm getting vertigo feelings. Like sometimes when you get out of bed or when you stand up too quickly, you might feel dizzy. You know how that happens. This is going on as I'm laying in bed. And this vertigo is so extreme that I can barely function. And it goes all through the day. I'm kind of thinking maybe I just overdid it yesterday. All these things. It shows up. It's still there the next day. I'm thinking maybe I got that Rona. So I go get a Rona test. And quick aside, if you've never had that, invasive nostril swab, I can describe to you exactly what it feels like.
Oh, good.
Are you into this? So
I'm into this.
The nurse who was kindly administering the test gave me one tissue, and she said, "This is for your nose now. Quickly blow your nose." And then she gave me another tissue and said, "This is for your eyes after." And I thought, oh no. She said, "Don't worry. Like if you've ever been in the swimming pool and you get upside down and water goes all the way in your nose, that's what this feels like. So you know that feeling when water hits all the way the back of your sinus? That's exactly what the swab feels like.
Oh.
But it doesn't go away. It's just persistent. It's like poking there for about 10 seconds.
Oh my gosh. Because like I've heard people describe it in like many different ways, and now like that. And my thing is like this incredibly serious virus, which I can spread to people if I'm within 6 feet of them. The way you test for it is by shoving a cotton swab through my brain.
Right. All the way back there.
All the way back.
That's where the good goo is. Okay, so that was just an aside. So back to like the weird vertigo thing. So this is all going on multiple days, and finally I get a text from a friend that says you should contact Nikki Walker. And this is a friend of a friend, and Nikki Walker is a ear, nose, and throat therapist. And so I'm texting Nikki. She says, I think I know exactly what's happening, and here's what you need to do. And of course, I'm totally relieved. She said, and here's the PSA. She said, everybody's head, their inner ear, has these crystals. And if the crystals get out of their house, it causes all kinds of havoc. So the PSA is inner ear crystals, go home. So like by working in this weird position, apparently the crystals in my inner ear got dislodged and were like rolling around in my head, causing all this vertigo. So she sent me this YouTube video describing a kind of a home exercise you can do on your own, like with a yoga mat kind of a deal, where you like, have to get down on your knees and put your head all the way down and turn your head to the side and then move your head halfway up. And like, essentially it's like one of those puzzles where you have to like move all the balls around in the right spot to get it, that's what you're doing with your inner ear crystals. So she said, here's the concerning part. She said in her text message, by the way, you might want to have an empty trash can nearby when you do this.
Oh no.
Yeah. So, the implication is like obvious. And so I decide, I'm at home trying to work through this. So I'm like, I decided not to go in the office. So I'm working from home, and like 2:30 rolls around. I decide I need a break, and I think let's give this a go. So at 2:30, I go up to my room, pull out my wife's yoga mat, and get a trash can nearby and start following this exercise routine or this procedure. And, everything's going well. I'm still like definitely feeling vertigo the whole time. And she said, at certain parts, it's going to get kind of extreme. If it's working, you'll know it's working, she said. So like I get halfway through this, and at one point you bring your head from being all the way on the ground to halfway up, like kind of like on your knees, like doggy position, and your head turned to the side. And she said it might feel like you're dizzy when that happens. That is a bit of an understatement. If you've ever been to the carnival, and if you've been to the carnival and seen those rides, they have names like Vortex and Centrifuge, that thing where you go in, you spin and you stick to the wall. That's exactly what happened at that moment, except there was no wall to stick through. Like I literally fell over because it felt like my house was being yanked out from underneath me. The trash can did come in handy right at that very moment. And the next 5 to 6 hours, it felt like I get hit by a truck. I mean, I'm literally on my back. And, I'm just, still kind of feeling the effects of like that extreme vertigo. But then finally at about 9:00 that evening, I get the nerve to kind of get up and move around, and it's like magic. It's all gone. Like the vertigo, 100% taken care of. It hasn't come back. So, man, this the exercise. If you're experiencing this and you need help, I'm here to support you. It's called the Epley maneuver. So if you YouTube the Epley maneuver, if you
I
ever
think we have our next Try It Tuesday.
if you're ever experiencing vertigo and you need help, Google the Epley maneuver, EPLEY.
It's just a 6-hour video of a guy laying on his side and throwing up.
Exactly. It's compelling watching. No, this is, and I told Nikki, you saved my life. This was a big deal. It's crazy. So there you go. Wow. Ear crystals go home.
Ear crystals go home. I didn't know we had crystals in our ears.
Right.
I'm picturing like pop rocks just kind of loose in your ear. Like if you shake your head hard enough, you'll hear them.
I'm picturing like, oh, you got nerds again?
I always have nerds.
Like eye boogers.
Ooh, yuck.
Just in your ears.
That's probably a little more accurate. Like the kind of crystally things your body can produce.
Yeah.
I will say I've never had like vertigo or any issues with motion sickness in my life. Like I'm pretty good in the car. I've always played a lot of video games until I got like a cardboard VR headset a couple years ago because Nintendo put one out that you could put your Switch into. And they released like a VR update for Breath of the Wild, the Zelda game. And I played it for about 5 minutes late at night, like in bed. Like the day it came out, I was super excited. And after about 5 minutes, I had such horrible motion sickness. I had to stop. I've never played it again. And to this day, there are still like games that I can't play because they give me motion sickness. I've never had that problem until I tried VR.
Oh man.
And now I'm ruined. I sneezed once and caused myself to have vertigo. I like sneezed and then like stood right back up and then just fell over.
Oh man.
Because I did something with my ear when I sneezed. And
your ear crystals. You shook up you rattled your crystals.
With that sneeze. Well, no, Daniel, thank you for that. Now I know the Epley maneuver.
Hey,
if I ever dislodge my ear crystals or I just want to pull a real nasty prank on a friend.
Here to help.
Thank you. Noah, you have an interesting story that I'm very excited to hear because I somehow missed this.
Well, I just want to give our good friend Michael, who's a friend of the show, who's on the show most every week, except for this week. He's out for, what did we say he's out for this week, Ben?
We forgot to come up with something. Rats.
He's voting. He's standing in line to go vote.
Right. 10 hours.
10 hours.
He's doing he's researching his ballot, and then he's going to give Noah and I all the information that he researched.
That's actually pretty much what happened last week after the show.
A voting guide. Okay.
We all pulled out our ballots and Michael told us what to do.
Only a little bit.
You know, if your pastor does that, it's called a cult. So
if it's your podcast co-host though, it's just helpful. It's fine.
It's a good friend. Yeah.
It's a good friend.
So on Friday night, I was home alone for the evening, and Michael texted me to say, hey, I'm streaming the town hall on Twitch. And I'd seen him do this a couple times with the vice presidential debate here in the US. He streamed Minecraft and had just the VP debate in one little corner of the screen. He didn't do any commentating. There was no partisanship. He just had the debate streaming and some Minecraft in the background, which was really awesome because the only thing to make a debate more enjoyable is to have like cows mooing in the background and sheep bleating and just the nice, pleasant sounds of Minecraft. So he did it again this Friday, and he was trying to decide which of the two town halls to stream, and he ended up streaming the Biden town hall. So I was eating dinner and not super paying attention,
via a coin flip, I might add.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that.
Yeah, it was like heads or tails, one or the other, and he flipped a coin.
Nice.
So he flipped a coin. The town hall was on, and so I'm just kind of casually eating my baked potato, my bachelor meal of choice. And
you're married, Noah.
Yeah.
She was gone.
So as soon as anytime Jesse's out of the house, immediately you're back to bachelor mode.
Just immediately. It takes about 2 minutes.
So it would
seem. Watching Twitch at the living room or the dining room table, watching Michael stream this debate and play some Minecraft, setting up his cave garden or whatever he was doing. And thinking I was the only one in the chat because I didn't know how to see how many like viewers there were, I jokingly made some comment of a guy wearing a mask because Michael is very pro-mask, and I just made some kind of comment about a mask. And then I immediately get a private message from Michael that's like, hey, don't start that. We have people who would disagree in the chat. And then I flip back over to Twitch, and I have been given a ban from Michael's Twitch page. Wow. And it was like a temporary ban for like 10 minutes, but all of my messages had been deleted from the chat, and I had been banned from commenting on Michael's Twitch chat for 10 minutes. And then I just get another comment from Michael in our private Discord that just says, oh, I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to do that. How do I undo this?
That must have been after I left, because I am one of Michael's moderators.
Oh, really?
So I know how to control all that stuff, but apparently he just was off on his own trying to moderate his chat.
Right. So like you didn't even get banned by some like person who has like this hot anti-mask take or whatever. Like
No.
You got banned by Michael himself.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was just straight up Michael. So crippled our friendship. I have not spoken to him since. Actually, that's not true. I've spoken to him. But so then I logged off and I went and watched Silence of the Lambs.
Oh,
I saw that.
nice.
You shared that with us.
So that was my evening.
It was weird. I was told I should watch that yesterday by my supervisor.
Creepy.
It is very
I
interesting.
don't know if I'm going to.
It is a good
I'm
film.
See, I understand that, but I also don't do spooky.
And this is, I mean, it's spooky, but also, man, like just really gross.
Yeah.
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 I mean, at this point, if you haven't seen Silence of the Lambs, you might not, so spoilers, I don't know how we feel about spoilers on here, but yeah, I mean, face masks out of human skin, like, okay, come on now.
That's the sort of mask I can't get behind.
Yeah,
Right.
That does not count. That will not protect you.
Like little to no, like respiratory protection there.
Oh,
like,
none at all.
Aspirants. Yeah, it's all about fashion. Like, I mean, that's as good as a Batman mask.
But if you want to get a mask that does work, go to noodlespodcast.com. Click shop now and get the Noodles Podcast mask.
That is true. Ben has one, right?
I do have one. It is in my car. I don't know why that would matter. It's not like people can see. I'm wearing it now. Woo!
Hey.
It feels great. He lied.
No.
Well, that's very sad that you got banned, Noah. I'm sorry that happened to you.
We'll let
I feel
Michael defend
directly
himself next week.
I was gonna say, I feel directly responsible because that's my job.
Although you can finally check that off your bucket list.
Get banned on Twitch.
Get banned, from blank, it can kind of go anywhere. So now you got to work on spending the night in jail.
Ooh.
I feel like that's like the natural progression here.
Just go to your prison room.
I was just gonna say, we refer to our guest bedroom as the prison room. So,
so next time Jesse boots you out for that like random weird comment or for not wearing your mask,
just say I spent a night in jail.
You want to get your bachelor lifestyle back?
Right?
Yeah.
I don't have much of a story from this past week. I just have a question that came up last night when I was talking with some friends. Like I said, I went to a corn maze. I did not participate in the corn maze, but while we were waiting in line, all masked up and socially distant, I can't speak. I was just spewing random facts with friends of mine, and I said something about how the first dinosaur fossil was discovered after George Washington died. So George Washington never knew that the dinosaurs existed.
Whoa.
What?
Yeah, this is a true fact. So George Washington had no idea dinosaurs existed, which led us into the conversation of how the United States today would be different in like an alternate reality where George Washington is like a big fan of dinosaurs. And I kind of wanted to open that up to the floor.
Man.
Like what our existence would be like had we known about dinosaurs.
So not had dinosaurs been around during the Revolutionary War, just had we known they existed.
We discussed that too, because I don't think one of our friends really picked up on the premise that we were just talking about acknowledging the existence of dinosaurs. And he was like, well, we would have beat the British with velociraptors. No,
yeah,
we wouldn't have. But
no, yeah.
I mean, we can go down that road too. I mean,
right. I kind of wonder, like, you know, wars are good at like filling in like the calendar, the schedule. Like, do wars just show up because people are like incredibly bored? So here's my thought. Like, if we had been way into dinosaurs and seeking out fossils, Revolutionary War may have never happened. Like, you know, there wouldn't be this whole Tea Party thing. Instead, we'd all be like out in the West digging big holes. And yeah, I think it might have like prevented the Revolutionary War altogether.
We were just shared on our Discord an image of George Washington riding a T-Rex.
Perfect.
So maybe there were dinosaurs back then and
Could
cameras.
be.
Or maybe it's a painting. I don't know. Well, that brings up a good point, because we certainly have explorations nowadays and wars and conflicts that are based on getting some stuff out of the ground. But maybe our explorations would have changed from which countries might have the most interesting dinosaur fossils.
For sure.
I'd like to think that it would be this utopian, like everyone coming together, everyone that was a part of the Revolutionary War coming together to like excavate these dinosaurs and trying to start their own Jurassic Park kind of deal.
Right.
And like, instead of handing a bayonet in war, they handed a shovel in friendship. Like, let's dig up this continent, find some dinosaurs.
All shovels are shared in friendship.
Right.
Unless they're over the head.
We all know Washington had wooden teeth. And I think it's because there's like just this social taboo about the idea of implanting human teeth, someone else's human teeth. So here's the thing. If there were dinosaurs and they had excavated all these dinosaurs, maybe Washington would have had dinosaur teeth implanted.
I just thought of, oh my goodness, that would have been great. The first U.S. president has just giant velociraptor teeth.
Velociraptor teeth.
That's the best possible outcome. Honestly.
That would have been such a power move. Somebody disagrees with like a law that George Washington's trying to put into place, and he just bares his velociraptor teeth.
He just smiles slyly.
Smile. That dinosaur smile.
That dinosaur smile.
He had a dynamite smile.
Ooh.
Well, I mean, you had Teddy Roosevelt with the whole like speak softly and carry a big stick. What if it was like speak softly and carry a dinosaur's leg?
Oh, right. Like a dinosaur femur.
A femur of a yeah.
Not like a whole intact dinosaur leg.
No. Just the fossils.
Yeah, you'd have to pick the right dinosaur, because I think like a Brontosaurus femur is still probably more than a human could like carry in one hand.
That's true. He could like keep it on like a boat somewhere, and then have the meetings on the boat around like the Brontosaur femur.
Right. Things start getting tense, and he says, "I'd like to show you something very seriously."
I'd like to show you.
And like takes him into the femur room, and like he says, behold.
I'd like to show you something very softly.
Right.
He has to speak softly, and then femur room.
For sure,
a power play for sure.
Well, I'm always listening. I'm always listening through the episode to decide like what to name the episode. And some weeks we have really good titles, and other weeks I kind of have to pick some different aspects from the show. But I think "Speak Softly and Carry a Dinosaur Leg" is the name of the episode so far. So we can see if we can top that.
We certainly set the bar pretty high. I am happy with the way this conversation went. I didn't know what I was going to expect when it came to asking how our lives would be different if George Washington knew about dinosaurs, but I'm pleased with this.
Right.
I'm very pleased.
You guys talked about like we could go down another route, but maybe this is probably not the best for the podcast. But like you talked about like you'd no longer hand somebody a weapon, you'd hand somebody a shovel. We could get all theological and talk about the vision from Isaiah where their guns will be beat into plowshares and how like there would be no more war if only George Washington had known about dinosaurs. Could have changed the whole trajectory of the world.
Just imagine.
Now we're getting into like some like super B movie sort of deal where it's just like, I have an idea for a movie. We go back in time and show George Washington dinosaur fossils.
Right.
And it'll save all of humanity.
Beautiful.
For some reason, and this isn't really related, but it's making me think of the 2002 movie Reign of Fire, in which modern day London, they discover a dragon egg underneath London that ends up hatching, and London is attacked by dragons. And it just sounds really cool.
Have you seen it?
I have not, but it's on my list. It's like a mix of Jesse's two favorite things being London and dragons. So dragons attacking London is right up there.
Wow, those are Jesse's two favorite things.
Yep. I'm number 3.
Right.
That's not bad placement on the list. I will.
Hey, could be worse.
Well, then maybe we should ask our viewers, our listeners, what they think about George Washington knowing about dinosaurs. How would that have affected American history? And listeners, you can tell us by visiting noodlespodcast.com, scrolling down to the Contact Us. At the bottom of the page, you'll find a Contact Us, and there is a thing on there called SpeakPipe, which, as Michael reassured us last week, it's very secure. You can mute your microphone and all that, but you can leave us a message on SpeakPipe, and it will get read on the show, or it'll actually get played on the show. So,
yeah, we don't have to do any reading. That's why we did this. The less reading that we have to do, the better.
The less editing. So we want to know what you think.
You would actually play a listener's audio on the show, them answering the question, how would human history have been different had George Washington known about dinosaurs?
We're going to get like a 45-minute audio essay.
I do think so. I think the chances are good.
So we look forward to hearing from you.
Yes. Yes, we do.
Indeed.
I was trying to think of a good transition for that, but Noah, do we have any games this week?
We do have a game, and back by popular request. Actually, nobody's requested it, but I think it's really funny because I just really like talking about petty neighbors. It's something I've learned more about now, living
that
somewhere.
You have neighbors?
Now that I have neighbors. Actually, none of my neighbors listen to the show, but if they did, all of our neighbors are great. We've had no neighbor issues. We haven't had a single HOA letter or anything, which is great.
See,
so far, so good.
This is what you have to do. You have to get all your neighbors together for a nice, socially distant potluck.
Mm-hmm.
And while you're all sitting there, just set up a speaker and start playing the podcast. That's called natural growth.
Right.
It's very organic. Just like, hey, since we're all here, it's kind of like the model of having neighbors over for dinner and then showing them like Left Behind or something, and then talking about it's a
Tupperware part. It's a Tupperware party, but with podcasts is what it is.
Right.
Yeah. Instead of asking them like, hey, what if the rapture did happen today? It's just like, hey, what if you listen to Noodles podcast?
Right. It's like Washington's Brontosaurus femur move. It's a power move. Like when things start going south, you say, by the way, I'd like to show you something. You set up your speaker. Just so you know, I am this cool. I am on a podcast called Noodles at Noon. That's noodlesatnoon.com.
And you better listen to it. I better hear it through the walls, my townhouse neighbors.
Oh, man.
It is weird. I walked back into like the supply room at my work, And one of my coworkers who I didn't know knew I had a podcast was listening to the podcast. So I just walked back into the room and I hear me and Ben talking. I was like, whoa, you're listening to the podcast.
So I know a few of those coworkers, and I don't know how I know this, but I've been stalking you, Noah. So like, I know who works in that supply room, and one of our employees has worked at that company for 40 plus years. He's in his north 80s. Is it that individual?
It was his son.
Okay.
It was Tom. But that would be awesome.
Like we have a senior, like Noodles at Noon has a very senior fan.
That'd be great.
Yeah.
We'll branch out. I actually, Jesse's mom listens to the podcast most weeks. Although she has told me a couple of times where she didn't like the direction a story was going and had to turn it off. So I think about that now as I'm listening to recording the show. Like, I wonder if this is where Jesse's mom is going to log off.
Weird. I've listened to half an episode of the show, and I don't know. You guys keep it pretty clean.
We keep it fairly clean. Every now and then it devolves. Ben tries to keep us on track.
I try so hard.
Wow.
But anyway, let's talk about what's happening next door. And we have 3 questions. We'll run through these pretty quick. But Daniel, why don't you start us off? You can answer the question first. So this person accused their neighbor of stealing blank from his backyard, and he thought he deserved compensation for this crime.
Ooh. Well, if it were front yard, I would definitely say it's your political party sign of choice. Mm-hmm. That's a big deal. Like, I met a guy who has had such trouble with his political party sign of choice being stolen from his yard. He actually has booby-trapped his sign. Like, it's covered in Vaseline. The back of it has like those sticky rat traps. Like, if you steal that sign, it's on you, buddy. But in the backyard, it's probably not a political sign unless you're just really weird. I would say it's the family pet. Neighbor stole the family pet from the backyard. He had little dog he had little dog envy, and so stole the family pet.
Stole the family pet. Yeah, I agree. That would be, he would deserve compensation for his pet being gone. Ben, what do you think?
I think that since you said compensation, that means the person who stole this got some sort of monetary exchange from stealing it. So I'm going to go with a neighbor's little kid stole lemons from their backyard, made lemonade, had a lemonade stand, and now that person wants to be compensated for it.
Sound logic.
That is sound logic, and it's not too far off from the truth. Daniel, I'm curious to hear your opinion on this, because Daniel, you've done a little bit of beekeeping, correct?
Correct.
All right, well, Oh, sorry, go ahead.
I have been known at times to be a beekeeper.
Well, this person is accusing their neighbor of stealing pollen from his backyard, and his post says, "Hey, can I sue my beekeeper neighbor? Every day I see my neighbor's bees flying around my garden, stealing the pollen and nectar from my flowers. Then the bees go back to my neighbor and create honey." And he goes on to say that the neighbor then harvests the honey and sells it, and he gets no compensation for this. What do you think, Daniel? Is that fair?
Well, as a beekeeper, I would have a few hot rebuttals. Number one, you're being compensated by we're doing the right thing for the earth. We're saving the bees. So, hey, buddy, get over it. Number two, thanks to my bees, your yard looks about 15% better than it would, because otherwise your flowers would not be pollinating. Your little row of green beans would be like just floundering. No strawberries in your little strawberry patch. So, hey, buddy, if you want to talk about compensation, why don't you share some of those green beans and strawberries with us? Let's go.
I love it. The beekeeper has spoken.
That is fair.
It gets hot real quick.
I was curious to hear about that. Anyway, I think I'm going to give this one to Ben just because it was stealing an organic product from the neighbor's backyard and selling it for a profit. So
it was on theme. Had we been in Southern California or Florida, Ben probably would have been right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like where
True.
citrus grows in the backyard. So,
all right. So that takes Ben takes that point. It's now 1-0. And as we've seen, neighbors can be petty, and pettiness can take many forms. This person left their neighbor a passive-aggressive note asking them to fix this about their house. Ben, what did this neighbor want them to fix?
I think as I look around my neighborhood, because I have this set up right by my window, and as I'm judging my neighbors currently, I think I would want my neighbors to fix about their house is the shutters that they have around their windows getting to look a bit dingy. It's weird that I say that because none of my neighbors have shutters. But that was just the first thing that came to mind. I know our house does. Maybe our neighbors are judging us for having dingy shutters.
Yeah, maybe you should check yourself.
I should.
All right,
Check
shutters.
yourself.
Daniel, what do you think?
you know, I might actually know the person that this happened to. Because I had a friend tell me about something almost exactly like this. This friend is someone, you know, probably not much different than you or I. Like, we have homes. We kind of generally care for them. Those homes come with yards, and we do our best. But this neighbor or this friend of mine is not necessarily like one of those over the top extreme yard guys. So he waters his yard, he mows his yard. But like many of us, there's a few dandelions here and there. There might be a brown patch here and there. So my friend received a message from his neighbor that said, "Hey, you might not care about your yard, but you live in a neighborhood where we pride ourselves in the look of our yards. And so would you please, if you cannot fix this yourself, seek professional help?" So I'm going to say that he was being judged by the upkeep of his own yard, of which he was doing his best, you know?
Yeah. No, clearly he doesn't care about his yard.
Clearly. Like, you might not care.
We've
but
talked
we care.
about this on the show and how much I really dislike HOAs and their very existence.
Oh my
For
goodness.
that reason.
All right. So the yard or the shutters? Well, and I'm going to send it in the chat here. It's a nice flowery note. Definitely came from like a very flowery pad of paper. And it says, "Please, we hope you guys change the color of your house. It doesn't look good." And then a big frowny face. It says,
Right.
"Don't take it personal. We appreciate you very much, but considerate it, please. Considerate it, please." Not sure. They did. I assume they mean consider it, please.
Yeah.
Like, had this note not been written like on lavender floral stationery, this would look exactly like a fourth grader, like writing a note to. So like,
I'm going to put this big frowny face here just to communicate my unhappiness with your house color.
right.
But not
And
only
like,
is it, there's a butterfly on it too. Like,
yeah.
And I
it's
understand
such a sweet
this.
looking note.
In my family's cul-de-sac, there was a house that was painted a very strange, actually it was a lavender color many, many years ago, but we never said anything. We just passive-aggressively talked behind that neighbor's back with all the neighbors like you do. You don't write a note.
Right.
Yeah. Be a good
Man.
neighbor and talk about your neighbors behind their back.
Yeah.
That note is great. And the message here is just get nice floral lavender stationery and it smooths everything over. Like, yeah.
I
All
think
right.
the worst part of the note is the frowny face because it just like emanates disappointment.
Yeah. Like
Like, it's
I'm
not
mad.
angry.
I'm disappointed.
Like, I've let that frowny face down.
Yeah.
I think I'm going to have to give this one to Ben again, just because the shutters
Oh,
are
man.
a piece of the house.
Oh, no.
It is literally the house. Yeah.
So
But
Ben
he
is going to
did
take
say-
this game.
In Daniel's defense, he did talk about like yard upkeep, and it is a lavender note. It is very flowery note.
There's a
I suppose I can make the case. I will ask the last question just out of sheer joy I take out of petty neighbors. So we have time for one more.
Let's make it the bonus round. Worth 3 points.
All right. We've played that game before. It's worth 3 points.
Spoken like a man who is losing.
Actually, okay, Daniel, if you get this one right, you win the game. I'll give you 3 points.
Oh, it has to be 100% correct.
It has to be correct.
I got it. Yeah, not even like vaguely close. Just on the note. Okay, here we go.
So this is another stern note from a neighbor. This note complained about the noise coming from their backyard. What was the cause of this noise? And I know that's vague. That's not giving you a lot to go off of, but I'm curious to hear your answers.
One neighbor was concerned about the noise coming from another neighbor's backyard.
Yes.
Is that setting the stage? Okay.
Concerned or upset about?
They were pretty upset. They were threatening to call the police.
Well, I'd have to go with this individual, like many of us, like most of us at time to time. When things get tight and you need a little extra money, you host a backyard fight club. So I would say that this neighbor was hosting a backyard fight club. The grunts, the fisticuffs, the cursing that goes along with fight clubbing was just too loud for their nice neighbor to tolerate. So fight club.
I gotta say, for someone who had to get this question 100% right, you went full send on it.
Hey, it's either gonna, you gotta shoot for the stars. You gotta shoot for the stars.
That makes me feel so bad about my answer though, because I was thinking like a water feature, like a nice little like bubbling brook water feature that was made them had to pee or something. But you went like full fisticuffs. So I feel obligated to change mine. But I won't. I'm going to go with water feature.
Water feature. Good.
Water feature or fight club. Well, the answer was the neighbor's children. The neighbor was upset because the child was out in the backyard and that caused his dogs to get really riled up and the dogs wanted to go out and play with the child. And the neighbor was really upset, like, hey, your kid's in his backyard making noise. It bothers my dogs. Please don't let your kid outside, or at least limit your kid to 10 or 20-minute increments so it doesn't upset my dog. And if your kid keeps going out in the backyard, I will call the police.
Oh, my goodness. Well, this is amazing because I've heard kids in the backyard, neighbors, and it is literally Fight Club. So I kind of feel like I nailed it here.
Daniel, I will give you the point. I don't think I can quite give you the 3 points, but I'll give you the 1 point.
Okay.
Because kids do start fight clubs. I've been a part of many in neighbors' backyards.
Right.
It just happens. So Ben wins the game 2-1.
Congratulations.
I'm also going to throw out this other post. I get these off of @bestofnextdoor on Twitter. So they're not original. I'm sorry. I do steal these from Best of Next Door. And I just wanted to share this one they posted yesterday. That is a neighbor posting to Nextdoor a picture of their ballot. And it just says, hey, just got my ballot in the mail. Just looking for some input on who and what to be voting for. Wow. And it has 86 comments on it.
Yeah, I was going to say.
They don't show the comments, but I'm sure it's all civil and I'm sure it's all great.
Wow, great.
That's a great way to figure out more about your neighbors.
Perfect.
I have to imagine they're trolling. I don't know. I have a hard time picturing someone just putting that out there, especially this year.
As a matter of fact, I think I heard this segment on Noodles at Midnight, the podcast. I think, they actually had that and they read the answers out. So,
oh yeah,
what?
That's the other podcast where they're gonna talk about all
we'll
the
have to go listen to
stuff.
Yeah, deep cut. If you haven't heard about that, listen to the other episodes.
Listen to that podcast. Well, I will happily take the victory, but we're going to move on. I can't relish in the thrill of victory for too long because we have another game and a brand new game that's being hosted by our special guest, Daniel.
Hey. Great.
Welcome.
Yeah.
Thank you for being on the show. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm glad to. Thanks for having me. This is fun. Thanks for letting me butt myself in here with a game that I've heard of before. So this game is a pretty simple game. It's called Indie Rock Band or Firework. That's Indie Rock Band or Firework. So I'm going to read the name of something, and you will each have to choose whether you feel like that is an indie rock band or a firework. Unlike subjectivity, there is an empirical answer on all of these. So also, in order to maybe just kind of set the stage here, we're going to have some audible feedback if you're correct or incorrect.
Yeah, he's bringing a level of professionality to our show. He has actual built-in audio features. This is amazing.
Or gimmickry. I mean, so if you're correct, you're going to hear a vocal, kind of a vocal reinforcement, something like this.
Woo!
All right, that wasn't me. That was a sound effect.
Woo!
And if you're incorrect, you're going to hear a different sound effect, more of something like this. Sound good?
Awesome.
Good. Okay, so we're going to take turns. You're each going to get your own question, and so you're not kind of bidding it against each other. You're going to get it right or wrong. Maybe a little practice round. So Noah, let's start with you. Indie rock band or firework? King Gizzard and the Lizard Wizard. Is that an indie rock band or a firework? King Gizzard and the Lizard Wizard.
That sounds like the firework that the big one that Merry and Pippin stole out of Gandalf's cart in Lord of the Rings. That's what I would imagine it's called. But I feel like that has to be an indie rock band. I'm going indie rock band.
All right, good job. That is indeed an indie rock band. King Gizzard and the Lizard Wizard. All right, a practice round for you here, Ben. Burst and Bloom. Burst and Bloom.
See, okay. That has to be a firework. But since this game is built on the premise of indie rock bands that sound like fireworks or fireworks that sound like indie rock bands, I'm going to say that that's it. Oh, man. You've played some psychological trickery on me. I'm going to say it's a firework.
Good job. Firework. Got firework. Okay. Someone very wise once told me, go with your initial reaction. Whatever you think, that's probably the right thing. Good job, Ben. You didn't overthink it.
It was me.
Okay, so here we go. We got a few rounds here. You guys can cut me off. I mean, I've got dozens and dozens here, so we'll just go down a few rounds and we'll kind of keep score as we go. Okay, here we go. These are for the actual points. All right, let's go back to you, Noah. Here we go. Mulberry Street Mayhem. Mulberry Street Mayhem.
I'm picturing you're on Mulberry Street lighting these off. The cops are circling everywhere. But Mulberry Street is a quieter street where you can light off fireworks and not get caught. It is a firework.
What up, Don?
You are correct. Firework. Good job. Good job. Okay, coming over to you, Ben. Here we go. Wolf Pack. It's Wolf Pack.
Ooh, Wolf Pack has got me feeling firework as well, but I'm going to go with indie rock band.
Ooh, let's see. Unfortunately, that is a firework. So sorry, Ben.
I didn't take my own advice.
You second guessed it. Yeah, sabotage. Okay, so it's a 1-0 so far. We got Noah with 1. Okay, here we go. Back to you, Noah. Indie rock band or firework? Moontooth.
Moontooth. It kind of sounds like Moon Truth, like a moon truther. I'm gonna say rock band. Go with my gut. Not question it.
Yeah, this.
You got it. It is indeed an indie rock band, Moontooth. Nice work. Okay, and here we go. Let's go over to you, Ben. Here we go. Zipper Cake. Zipper Cake.
Zipper Cake. That's a firework. You got to light off some zipper cakes, man.
You got it. Zipper Cake is indeed a firework. Nice work. Nice job. Okay, round 3, here we go. Actually, round 2. Round 1 was just a practice round. Here we go. JETS, and that is an acronym. That's JETS, JETS.
Do we get to know what the acronym stands for?
I don't know what the acronym stands for. Maybe after we know what the true answer is, we could maybe we could consider what it might be, but I don't know the acronym.
I think it stands for just everything sploding.
Exploding,
and it's a firework.
Okay, Noah's going with firework. Unfortunately, that is an indie rock band, Jets. Sorry about that. Okay, popping over to you, Ben. Here we go. Blueberry Moonshine. Blueberry Moonshine. Indie rock band or firework?
I'm going to go firework again. Just like that idea of like blueberries and the moon shining.
Right.
We straight doing it.
You're doing it. You're straight doing it. It is indeed a firework. Nice work. Good job. Okay. You guys doing good?
Yeah.
Here we
Total's
go.
2-2.
Round three. Oh, it's a tie. 2-2. Sounding good? Okay,
Yeah.
to Noah. Here we go. Dragon Tears. Dragon Tears.
Dragon Tears. Oh, man. This one could go either way.
Yeah, really could. Ask Jessie. She loves dragons.
I'll ask her. She's very familiar with...
What makes dragons cry? Is it impressive fireworks or is it smooth indie rock?
I think Dragon Tears was maybe like an Imagine Dragons cover band, but they made everything like slower and down tempo. But I do feel like it's a firework. I'm going to go firework.
Okay, firework. Okay, let's see. Yes, you are correct. You are correct. Dragon Tears, firework. Man, Noah, you're rocking these. This is not as hard as I thought it might be. All right, here we go, Ben. Jade Bird. Indie rock band or firework? Jade Bird.
I think this one's also a firework because it kind of has that color and element of something flying.
Right. Unfortunately, Jade Bird is indeed an indie rock band.
Oh.
That was a little tricky one. Yeah.
That one was tricky.
Okay, here we go. Let's move on, Noah. This is for you. Here we go. This is it an indie rock band or firework? Black Puma.
Black Puma. I think I'm going to go firework. I think it's like a firework that was made off the success of Black Panther, the movie. It's kind of like a ripoff Black Puma firework. That's my guess.
Picturing purple sparks in the sky. Yeah, for sure. Noah goes with firework. Let's see. Unfortunately, nope. I'm sorry. That is a indie rock band.
Oh,
I was gonna say,
indie rock band.
Isn't Black Cat the name of like a very popular firework brand?
I do believe so.
I think that's what I was thinking of. Tricky.
Okay, here we go. This might be your chance to catch back up here, Ben. Is this an indie rock band or firework? Wicked Willows.
Oh, that one's a firework. That one's definitely a firework because like willows is like those big drapey
I agree.
trees.
Check.
Yes, check. That is correct. It is a firework. It sounds like you actually have firsthand experience with that one.
No, just trees.
Okay.
Should we play to 5? It's 3-3 right now.
3-3 sounds good. We can
First
play to
to 5.
All right, Noah, here you go. Is it indie rock band or fireworks? Space Monkey.
Oh, man. That sounds like a band I would be privileged to be a part of. So I'm going to go with indie rock band.
Unfortunately, Space Monkey is indeed a firework. Okay, drama. All right, Ben, here you go for a chance to take the lead. Illuminati Triangle.
That sounds like an indie rock band. I gotta go indie rock band for that one.
Illuminati Triangle rock band. Oh, man. Unfortunately, that is indeed also a firework.
Oh.
I need to get some of these fireworks.
I know. Wow. Okay. So where are we at, Noah?
3-3 still.
Wow, 3-3. Okay, let's keep moving. Let's go. Noah, here you go. Indie rock band or firework. Alien Escape.
Alien Escape. You're launching an alien into the sky. It's got to be a firework.
Yeah, this.
That's right. It is a firework.
Hey.
Alien Escape. Good work there. Okay, let's see. Okay, Ben, here you go. Fire Toads. and that's Toads with a Z. Fire Toads.
Toads. I still thinking indie rock band, because like that's sort of the thing that you would come with your friends, like, oh, dude, we're the Fire Toads.
Right.
Take me higher.
You got it. It is indeed a rock band.
4 to
Indie
4.
rock band.
4-4.
Wow.
Next point takes
it's
it.
coming right down to the wire. Is it next one take it? There's always the chance to tie.
I know.
Okay, here we go. Noah, indie rock band or firework? Alpha Wolf.
Alpha Wolf. Okay.
Alpha Wolf.
That sound. I have to go indie rock band.
All right. Noah's going indie rock band. Let's see. Oh, unfortunately, Alpha Wolf is a firework. Firework with a chance to take it all. We got Ben. Here you go. Indie rock band or firework? Vanishing Twin. Vanishing Twin.
Ooh. I'm gonna second guess myself, and I'm gonna say firework.
Vanishing Twin, firework. Let's see what he's got. Oh, unfortunately, it is a indie rock band.
That sound sounded so positive.
We're locked in here.
I would have gone firework too, man.
Wow. We're locked in at 4-4. Let's see if this one will help it swing around. Noah, here you go. Indie rock band or firework? Fiery Frog.
Fiery Frog. Okay, that's a firework. Easy. Locking it in.
Yeah, you got it. That is indeed a firework. Okay, and Ben, oh man, here you go. Tie it up or give Noah the win with Flying Lotus.
Okay.
Indie rock
That's
band or
tricky.
firework.
I know I said like the element of something flying has to be like a firework, but I was wrong. So I'm gonna say rock band.
You are correct. It is an indie rock band. We're tied at 5-5. Oh man. So let's see. We can go into a sudden death round. Okay, or we're gonna go fast here. So we're just gonna fast throw them out there. Noah, Midnight Monsoon, firework or indie rock band?
Firework.
Hands in the air.
That's right. It is a firework. Okay, Ben. Act Surprised, indie rock band or firework?
Act surprised?
That's right. What's the name?
Indie rock band.
That's correct. Indie rock band. Okay, we're still locked in. Got the tie going. Okay, here you go. Noah, indie rock band or firework? Gingerbread Man.
That is an indie rock band.
That is not correct.
Oh no!
Gingerbread Man is firework. Here you go, Ben, I'm sorry, an opportunity to take it away. Shark Attack Planes, indie rock band or firework? Shark Attack Planes.
Is that planes?
Indie rock band. Is it planes with a Z?
Nope, it's just Shark Attack Planes. And you go with indie rock band? Oh, unfortunately, that is a firework. We're still gridlocked in a tie. Okay, here you go, Noah. Rolling Blackouts, Coastal Fever. Rock band or firework? Rolling Blackouts, Coastal Fever.
Indie rock band.
That is correct. Rolling Blackouts, Coastal Fever is indeed an indie rock band. Okay, Ben, here you go. Fiery Discus, indie rock band or firework?
That's the combination of something on fire and flying. It's a firework.
All you little sound boy.
You are correct. It is indeed a firework. We are still locked in. Okay, Noah, here you go. Indie rock band or firework? Yumi Zuma. Yumi Zuma.
That is a firework.
Unfortunately, that is indeed an indie rock band. Here we go. Once again, Ben, the opportunity to take it away. Indie rock band or firework? Amnesia Scanner. Amnesia Scanner.
Firework?
Oh, no. It is indeed also an indie rock band. Wow. We're pushing deep into the list. I'm glad I have a long list. Okay, here we go. Indie rock band or firework? Noah, Sonic Boom.
This sounds like a trick. Indie rock band.
Oh, man. You are correct. Okay. Ben, Here you go. Here's your chance. You can either tie it up again or hand Noah the win. It's another acronym. This is an indie rock band or firework. It is the acronym XTC. XTC.
It's a firework, and it stands for Extreme Thermal Combustion.
Ooh, unfortunately, that is an indie rock band. An indie rock band from the 90s. I actually remember that band. So
Ben left the call.
Ben left the call. He is out.
Wow.
He's just furious. I think what happened, I think we just experienced a table flip on Ben's behalf. Disconnected his webcam.
Did I lose? Everything broke.
I think just by playing the game, there are no losers because what a cool game. But indeed, Noah did take it.
I like
he pulled it out
as soon as I said extreme thermal combustion, everything broke.
Wow. Just shut down.
So I guess I lost?
Man, good. Yeah, by 1 point. Finally, Noah pulled ahead. Good job, guys. These are some fun ones. I got a few. I'm going to just run down the list. Little Dragon.
Rock band.
Firework.
Indie rock band. Yeah, rock band for sure. Dogleg.
Firework.
It's a rock band. Indie rock band. Large Happy Planet.
Firework.
Rock band.
Firework. It's a firework. Juice Box with 3 X's. Juice Box.
Indie rock band.
Indie rock band is correct. That's right. Echo in the Air. Firework. Okay, that was kind of an easy. Moon Traveler.
Firework.
It's a firework. I think there's a song, Moon Traveler.
I think there is too.
Here's one of my favorites. It's this is literally a name I found on SoundCloud. Text while driving if you want to see God. Text while driving if you want to see God. Obviously, I gave it away by saying I found it on SoundCloud. That's an indie rock band. Parachutes Over America. Firework. Anyway,
that
good
is such
job,
a
everybody.
long band name. Like,
Text while driving if you want to see God.
when I was in a band a couple years ago for like 2 nights, our rule was our band name had to be like 2 syllables or less because it needed to be quick. And It ended up being much longer than that because we couldn't come up with anything.
Yeah, like your live show flyers are problematic if you got a name like Text While Driving If You Want to See God. You're like locked into a theme and it's long. I see it.
Yeah, that is problematic.
Well, good job, guys.
Good job, Noah. Congratulations.
Thanks for bringing the game.
Congratulations, your win. Thank you so much, Daniel. Yes, for bringing that game. But we're going to finish off today's episode with Florida Man because that's what we do because it's so easy to exploit that state. So we're going to go all the way back to October 12th, 1994, before I was born because I'm not showing how young I am and bragging. So
shall I reveal what I was doing in 94?
You can if you want to.
Oh,
Were you in Florida?
I was freshman year at colleging in 1994, so revealing how not so young I am.
Well, it's a good thing you weren't in Florida because, Daniel, on October 12th, 1994, Florida man sentenced in blank smuggling case. I'll go to you first, Daniel. What was this Florida man sentenced for smuggling?
Man, Florida smuggling, you gotta do what you can to make a buck. I'd say this Florida man was caught smuggling exotic birds into the state for sale in the underground exotic bird ring.
We have exotic birds. Noah, what do you think he was smuggling?
I'm going to say, because this did happen to my older sister when she tried to smuggle one out of Hawaii, I believe, and she got in trouble, a coconut.
A coconut. Well,
coconut
on
smuggling.
October 12th, 1994, a Florida man was sentenced in an egg smuggling case. A Florida man was sentenced to 21 months imprisonment for smuggling Australian cockatoo eggs into the United States. The eggs, whose importation was prohibited under law, were worth over $600,000 after hatching into birds. So I must say, Daniel, you nailed this.
Did I get it exactly
Pretty
right?
much. Like the only difference was that they were just unhatched, is what you or
right.
unhatched eggs. But you said hatched eggs, but for the most part, you got that 100% correct. So point goes to Daniel for certain on that one.
Cool.
On October 14th of 2018, Florida suspect, 22, allegedly attacked mother with blank. Noah, what did this 22-year-old attack, allegedly, his mother with?
What year was this?
2018.
2018. All right. I think he attacked her with an Xbox One controller. He was playing Fortnite. She was trying to dust the TV, got in his way, caused him to get shot. Xbox controller.
Xbox, got to get that victory royale any way you can. All right, Daniel.
Wow. I don't know if I'm metagaming here, but I think it's got to be on theme with Florida Man. I'm going to go with a large snake. Attacked his mother with a large snake.
Large snake. Well, on October 14th, 2000.
Like I'm thinking, yeah.
Oh no, what were you thinking?
You know, maybe he's out in the yard, he finds a big snake, excitedly runs in to show it to mom, and she feels like he's attacking him with the snake. There you go.
All right. Well, on October 14th, 2018, Florida suspect 22 allegedly attacked mother with sausages. The winner of a 22-year-old demanded his mother make him dinner. When she did make him dinner, she accidentally bumped him, causing him to throw the sausages she was preparing at her. Again, he is 22. Oof. I kind of like the subtle shade that title like throws at him. Like Florida suspect 22. Yeah. Like this guy's 22, allegedly attacked his
everything.
His mother with sausages.
Yeah. I used to be 22. I'm not anymore.
I am 22, and I live with my parents. Anyway, I gotta think here because Noah, you said Xbox controller, and then Daniel, you said snake. I'm feeling like I have to give that to Daniel, right? Because you can eat a snake.
They're both tubular.
Yeah, they're both tubular.
They're tubular.
But I think Noah was closer because she like the dusting the TV versus bumping into him.
That one more showed his childlike state of, hey, I'm 22 and complaining that my mom is ruining my Fortnite game is very similar to I'm 22 and complaining that my mom's not making me dinner.
Yeah, I'm going to give it to Noah, but also it makes the next round more interesting. So Noah gets the point, and it's now tied up 1-1. On October 16th, 2016, Florida man arrested after stuffing blank and blank in his pants. So we're looking for two answers. Daniel, what two things did this Florida man stuff in his pants?
Let's see. I'm picturing an altercation at a convenience store. I'm thinking it's night. You know, you got the munchies. You got to do what you got to do. I'm saying Monster Energy drink and Doritos.
Monster Energy drink and Doritos in the pants. All right, Noah.
I'm thinking baking soda and vinegar. He just needed a few baking supplies.
Wait, you know what happens when you mix baking soda and vinegar, right?
Yeah, and that's what the problem was.
The kid science experiment gone awry.
Dumped a bunch down his pants exploded, and he got arrested for public indecency.
Wow, yeah.
I can't imagine that reaction causing such an explosion that it would blow your pants off. But I guess anything's possible in Florida. Well, the Florida man in October 2016, he was arrested after stuffing steak and lobster in his pants. Now, you might imagine he got them from a Red Lobster or other restaurant, but no, this 57-year-old man stole them from a Brooksville, Florida Walmart. The theft was valued at $172.98.
Wow.
Was the lobster still alive?
That's
so
what I
many
think.
questions. Was that lobster still alive?
Because I'm thinking back to many years ago when the Walmart closer to me had a lobster tank with living lobsters in it.
Right.
I didn't think any Walmart still had that, but I guess it's Florida.
So weird. I imagine the security guard saying, "Is that a lobster in your pants, or you just happen to see me?"
And he was like, "No, it's $100 worth of steak."
Wow.
But he was arrested and charged. And I think I'm going to have to give this one to Daniel because he did list, like food items. I mean, you did say baking soda and vinegar, but Doritos and Monster Energy and like altercation in a convenience store. So I'm going to give this one to Daniel. So Daniel, congratulations on winning Florida Man.
Hey. All right. Thanks.
Do you have any lasting words for the wonderful people who we talked about in this Florida Man segment? Words of advice?
I'll take it away with this.
Hands in the air.
Hey.
Hands in the air.
Yeah, hands in the air.
Well,
Discord's kind of weirdly chopping it off.
Yeah, so
you can only hear like the first half a second.
That's too bad.
We heard more of that one.
Is that one better?
Can I share one update to a previous story that involves Daniel before we wrap up this episode?
Yes, please.
Wow.
Because I just noticed this because I haven't really checked my email, and I feel bad that I have not acknowledged this week, Daniel. But as we talked about last week, this week was my birthday, and also as we talked about several weeks ago, I was upset that I didn't get to eat on the border, and it was a very weird, privileged story that I regret telling. However, it's paid off in the end because on my birthday, from our lovely friend Daniel, he sent me an On the Border gift card.
Aww.
So now
Hey.
I can go to On the Border. So thank you, Daniel. I just noticed that in my email, so I'm sorry I didn't thank you for it earlier.
You're welcome. My pleasure. Just goes to show Noodles at Noon is doing public service good. I was able to hear a little snippet from my friend Noah and able to play right into that thanks to the Noodles at Noon podcast.
And if you want to hear more Noodles at Noon podcast, go to noodlespodcast.com. Thank you all so much for listening. I mean, Daniel won a game, Noah won a game, I won a game. We're all winners, and you guys specifically are winners. Thank you so much for listening. Have a wonderful, wonderful rest of your week, and we'll hear from you or see you during the week, and you'll hear from us next week. Okay, bye. You can stop listening now. I prefer it, actually. Please.
Yep. Hang up.
Or dial
hang
1
up.
for more options.